Okay, it is October 11th, and I'm contemplating engine beds. Still no second fuel tank, of course. It was supposed to have been here Saturday, then he said Monday, and then at a quarter to 6 tonight, after lunch Monday. And then at a quarter to 6 tonight he called and said he wasn't coming. Maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. Well, Wednesday it's supposed to rain all day, so we'll see about that. But anyway, I was going to have the guy that was doing my tanks weld up some engine mounts for me too, but I decided to go ahead and do the rest of this metal work myself. I actually ordered a new welder, a Lincoln, one of those old tombstone style Lincoln AC arc welders, stick welders. You know, that's what I grew up using, and I'm pretty comfortable with it, and I've done quite a bit of welding with those, so that's what I ordered. I've got a MIG welder, a small MIG welder, but it's not a great quality one, so I'm sure I can do a lot better job with this stick welder. But anyway, so I've been debating engine beds, and I was thinking about ordering some steel for the beds, and I got to thinking, well, you know, why do you really need steel? You don't. But the primary reason would be to prevent the engine from any, you know, settling or movement, so you don't have alignment problems with the shaft. But since I'm using an Aqua Drive, which I've got it kind of put together here, this is the end that goes to the transmission, and then this is the thrust bearing here, and then this end here will connect. Need to get a coupler made to adapt to to couple to my shaft. So I've been contemplating these things. Yeah, the way I got things sitting there now, and you can see I got a little temporary cutout here off the template for the thrust bearing, and that's what this is here. That's just a little template of the thrust bearing. What I'm thinking about doing is, you see that level there, that's about the angle I think I want to put the engine at. So these two 4x6 beams that I want to use as the beds for the engine would need to be brought up, you know, to that angle I got over there. And I think I could do that, just, you know, cut out some 4x6 pieces to put underneath on the floors to bring this up, and then that one floor there that's lower, I could probably cut pieces for that one too, so I'd actually have 4 floors that I would be attaching to. And then this thing needs to match the angle of the shaft. You know, it can't be perpendicular to the keel or to the floors or anything else. It has to be perpendicular to the shaft, which means it's going to have to be angled back just a little bit. So I was thinking about making this out of a 3/8 inch steel plate, and then bolting it, and then welding some, you know, some heavy angle iron on either side, and then bolting it in here, and then an angle iron down here. Maybe not angle iron, maybe just a piece of flat at the correct angle then. And then you know, welding that on, and then this thing gets bolted thoroughly to the keel and to both of these engine beds. And we could put lag bolts in each one of these floors. So that are 2 of them actually. So that would be 16 lag bolts holding these beams, these 4x6 beams to the floors. I think that would be more than adequate. This does wind up pushing my prop shaft out. It's not going to be out quite that far. If this thing goes somewhere in here, if that thrust bearing goes somewhere in here, the actual shaft will come to about here. So yeah, that's not too bad. But I need to make, it would be nice to have that thrust bearing in the CV joint, where I got a little more room to work on it. I might notch that one down just a little bit more, and I think this one's going to have to be, that bolt's going to have to come down a little more too, because this pipe that I got in here, which I got it centered pretty well. If you see there, I got a couple 1/2 inch shims to get it centered in that hole, but I only got about a 1/4 inch there. And of course the pipe, or the actual shaft, prop shaft, is going to be a little bit bigger. It's like 1.7, I think, and the shaft is going to be 2, so might want just a touch more clearance there. But anyway, that's about the position that the engine mount pads would go. Probably a little bit this way towards me, not quite that far back, but somewhere in there, which is about perfect. You know, I don't want to get too far forward, and you'll have a hard time getting into the engine room, depending on where I put the entry door here. But if it's right in the middle, the engine's going to come out to maybe, you know, here or so. I guess that would still be enough, give you a couple feet, but I think that might go back just a little bit more. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Yeah. But using these wood beams as beds would be a lot easier and cheaper, since I already got them, than buying steel. Because man, if I buy some tubular steel, that stuff's going to be expensive too. And I don't think there's going to be any real advantage to using steel. It's going to have to be lag bolted in one way or the other, or you could put bolts. You could put angle, you know, iron down here and then run bolts through, which I might do that too, in addition to the legs. But you could do that on steel or wood. It wouldn't matter. And these 4x6s are certainly going to be strong enough for an 85 horse engine. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about at the moment. But I'm going to have to order a plate, I think, for that thrust bearing to mount to. And I do have a torch. I don't have a plasma cutter, but I've got a torch, and I think I can torch that out well enough. But I'm going to have other projects, you know, metal projects, and not the least of which is going to be the deck railing when I get around to doing that. And I think having, you know, a new welder and doing that myself is going to save me probably many thousands of dollars, because that's going to be a lot of labor, cutting all that pipe and grinding it to fit, and then getting it at the right angles and welding the bases on and welding all the pipes together. So yeah, I think I'll do all that myself, hopefully. But that's kind of what I'm thinking right now for the engine beds. Yeah, we'll see what I think tomorrow. But yeah, I'm not going to rush into this either. But the other tank, if it gets here this week sometime yet, it's going to take a week before I can put it in. So, and I got, yeah, I don't know. I took my boards out here. I had a little deck built in here so I could set the tanks up on before I pulled them into position. But if I get this engine, if I do this first, if I actually get this done before I put the tank in, I could probably just set the tank up on these, and then bring it up from there, maybe. Don't know for sure, but anyway, yeah, getting a little frustrated. Things are moving so slowly. But I'm going to push forward regardless. Just hopefully that tank gets here this week. Got a new shop heater in. Did I show you that? I think maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I had problems last winter with the catalytic heater, the infrared heater back there. It's non-vented, and propane puts quite a bit of moisture into the air, so I was getting condensation going up. You know, the warm air would go up at night and seep through my insulation up to the steel roof and warm things up. And of course, warm air holds more moisture. It would freeze on the inside or the underside of the steel roofing, and then the next morning it would drip. So hopefully, by putting a vented heater in, which of course isn't as efficient, but hopefully we won't have the moisture problems in here this winter now. We'll see how much difference it makes. It should help quite a bit, I think. Hopefully it helps to the point where I don't have to do anything else. But if it's still dripping, you know, when I get around to epoxying things, I might have to put some plastic up there to keep it off the wood, so I'm not trying to epoxy wet wood, although it looks like this side at least there are no seams up there where it would drip on the, where I'll be planking. I don't know about this side over here. Yeah, it looks like this side would be alright too, for the most part. Maybe as we get down there towards the beamier part of the boat it might. But we'll see. We'll see how it works. Hopefully I don't have to do anything else. Hopefully the vented heater will do the trick. Alright, that will be my update for October 11th.